You've got to stop believing that eating clean equals fat loss if you want to see your body change. Here's why. So eating clean can actually be a really good thing. It really can be. So it can help you feel more satiated, and you're going to be eating more whole food. So you're probably going to be getting plenty of fiber and nutrients. But when it comes to changing your body, you do need to have the right amount of energy or calories coming in and the right amount of calories going out. And that's exactly how you're going to change your body if you're 40 plus. Because here's the deal. If you had a destination that you wanted to get to as fast as possible, you wouldn't just wing it, would you? You would actually pull up the address, put it into your maps, and let GPS show you the best and fastest way to get there. So why aren't you doing the same thing when it comes to your body composition? So macros is the most effective way for women to build muscle, lose fat, and to stay lean. So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm so excited that you're here. We're going to be talking about macros, and I promise you it doesn't have to be complicated, because all the time I hear, Courtney, macros are so complicated. Is it really complicated, or do you just have some skills that you need to have in place in order to make it actually easier? Because here's the thing, a lot of you guys are self-taught. Nothing wrong with that. I was actually self-taught until I went back to school and learned all this nutrition stuff. But the thing is that it's just like anything else. It's a skill. You have to develop the skill, and then you have to practice it. And it takes a little bit of time, and it's going to take consistency. And you can actually get to a point where it just takes a few minutes a day. So inside of my one-on-one coaching program, Lean Physique, we actually have a women's 28-day macro counting challenge that walks you through this whole process. Not only actually how to track your macros, but also how to calculate them so you know you have the right goal. So this is something that we do. And within 28 days, our members are tracking their calories on their own in just 5 minutes a day or less. So this is absolutely a skill. It doesn't have to be complicated. And if it is complicated, yeah, it's going to be at first because you haven't had any practice. No one ever really taught you how to do it. So we're going to be talking about that today. The other thing, okay, we're talking about macros because there is so much beliefs around this. You guys have a lot of beliefs around them. And I'm here to dismantle them, because you being resistant to counting your macros is exactly why your body doesn't look the way you want it to, okay? I hate to tell you this, but you're being resistant, and this is actually the tool that is going to give you the results that you want, okay? Because why would you just guess? We don't guess in perimenopause. If you want results, you need a system, and I'm sharing that system with you this week for free, okay? So the other concern I hear is that, Courtney, macros are just so restrictive. Are they though? Is it restrictive to give your body the right amount of food that it needs for you to look a certain way, to perform a certain way? And let me be clear here, guys, like the only goal isn't fat loss, right? Like you can have other goals. You can have building muscle goals. You can have weight maintenance goals. Those are great goals to have too. And in fact, I would prefer, after yesterday's conversation, that you guys would be on board with having seasons besides Fat Loss 365. You're fucking up your metabolism, honestly, if I can be quite frank with you. But here's what I want to challenge you with. Are macros restrictive, or is your food rules restrictive? Because honestly, guys, you know what I eat on a daily basis? I have bread in my diet. Oh, I have pasta. I eat fattier foods as well, bacon sometimes, avocados, right? Like, here's the thing. You do not have to eat clean to lose weight, because the reality is it's going to come down to your food quantity, okay? Sure, eating clean, like I was saying in the beginning of our live stream, yeah, it does have a lot of benefits. Yeah, it can help you stay full and satisfied. It can help you with cravings, but is it required for fat loss? Absolutely not. And I am also going to argue, guys, like avocados, yeah, this is healthy. Sure, this is healthy, But if you're not weighing how much avocado you're putting on your food or eating, you could be eating way more calories than you think. Like, this is calorie dense, so meaning it has a lot of calories in a small amount. Okay? So that's kind of my whole point. And here's the thing, I have been there. Back in like 2018, 2019, after my past of disordered eating all throughout my 20s, yeah, there was a time when I was like, you know what? I don't want to track my food right now. And I think that's okay. But here's the thing. You have to manage your expectations though, okay? Because back in 2018, 2019, I was right after my divorce, and I've been living alone, finally recovering after my eating disorders and exercise addiction. And there was a time I didn't want to track my food. But the problem was I wasn't managing my expectations. And I was like, why can't I lose like this last 10 pounds? Like, this is annoying as fuck. But the thing is that if you're not going to track your food, you can't have the expectation that you're going to hit your goal on the nose. Like, it's just probably not going to happen. Most of us, including people like me that are personal trainers, nutritionists, registered dietitians, we are terrible at eyeballing our food. So the reality is that we either need to manage our expectations, or we need to realize that macro counting is actually a really awesome tool. And I actually think that it's not restrictive because I can fit things into my diet. So if you guys go to my story, you guys can see my stories for today. And I included a dessert that I actually had on my birthday. And when I did the macros on it, it was like under 300 calories. I woke up the next day. I felt fine. I didn't have a food hangover. I didn't feel bloated. I didn't feel guilty. Like, it totally fit in with my macros that day. So the reality is that more than likely it's just a mindset issue. Macros are really not restrictive, but if you're doing things like, oh, gluten's bad, or hey, I'm not saying if you have a gluten allergy, I get that, but there is a lot of people that are eating like a Whole30 diet that don't need to be eating that type of diet. You know, like I said, if you have allergies, I totally get it. But if you don't have allergies to these foods, there's no reason to cut out dairy, to cut out carbs, and to not eat fruit, right? Like, that is what's restrictive. It's not counting and weighing your food. So we just have to shift that mindset to understand that this is not restrictive. This is actually just a tool. And it's not something that you have to always do or do for the rest of your life. This might be just something that you do to reach a goal. It's kind of like a tool in the toolbox. You can bring out the tool when you need it. When you don't, you can put it up in the toolbox. No big deal. And then finally, a couple concerns that we're just addressing before we get into today's training about macros. I've tried macros, but it didn't work for me. I hear this all the time. All right. You know what the answer is? You probably didn't have the right macro count, okay? Because here's the deal. I don't know where some of you guys are getting your calorie count. Maybe it's 1,200 calories because that's what you heard. Maybe it's MyFitnessPal spitting out a bullshit number. I use MyFitnessPal, but I do not use it to determine my calorie goal. Don't do that, okay? So you either have the wrong goal, okay, and that's causing you to not get the results that you want, or you have some tracking inaccuracies. These are things that we go over in my membership for women, Lean Physique, which if you guys are enjoying this challenge, you're going to have an opportunity to join me starting on Memorial Day. I'm going to have the doors open to take on just a few ladies inside of my one-on-one coaching program, Lean Physique. But we go through all of this in detail, and not only in detail, but we cater it to you, okay? So meaning that you're going to be able to get personalized macros, all of those things when you join, and all that info I'm going to share with you guys Monday when I go live in our group, okay? So that's the whole gist with macros. If you're frustrated with how your body looks, but you're resistant to macros, you need to see this today, okay? But before we get going into today's live stream, we're going to be talking a little bit about macros. We're going to be talking a little bit about weighing food. We're not going to do like a whole demo because if you guys signed up for the challenge, in today's email this morning, I sent out a 4-minute video on how you can quickly track inside of an app such as MyFitnessPal. So you have that. There is also the quick start portion control guide. I love this guide. Okay, so inside of this guide, There is a handy portion guide, which you can actually estimate portions with your hand, okay? So that way, if you're out to eat or at a party, you can totally keep your macros in check by using your hand as a visual guide. There is also, I don't know if you guys saw that, but if you opened up that guide, there's actually a link to a YouTube video where I walk you through how to weigh like everything, how to weigh chicken, cooked meat, how to weigh things like pasta, how to weigh dry goods accurately, because this is really, really important. Because if you're tracking your food, but you're not weighing your portions, your entries are probably not correct. So do yourself a favor, get yourself a scale. I can put the link to this. I believe I still have the link somewhere on Amazon, but I will put the link. Get yourself a scale. These are usually about $20, $25. One of the best tools that you can get for weight loss and weight management. But what I wanted to say is that I've been getting messages like, Courtney, I am so behind. I only watched day one. I feel so guilty that I wasn't able to join live. Y'all, it's okay. I don't expect you to join every day at 1 p.m. A lot of you guys have things to do. You're raising kids, you're working, whatever the case. I totally get it, okay? You're not behind. And I will say, if you signed up for the challenge, you're good because you have all the emails, you have all the replays. Saturday, I'm going to be putting together a little playlist onto YouTube so that way you guys can binge watch any of the live streams that you missed. Okay, so don't worry. I'm also going to be sending out links to all of the resources, okay, inside of that email on Saturday morning. So if you have not signed up for the challenge, sign up. You're missing out because, yeah, you can follow along and watch these live streams, but here's the thing. If you want to change your body, you have to take action, and you are going to be able to take action so much easier when you have the direction with the tools inside of this challenge. So things like the physique assessment guide, that was really important because if you're chasing the wrong goal, you're not going to get the results that you want. Okay. So make sure you sign up for the challenge if you have not. I also got a message from one of the challenge participants that she could not find the physique assessment guide. Okay. So it should have been in yesterday's email. It was in both the morning email and then the afternoon email. No worries. If you cannot go back and find that email, just reach out. I can send you the PDF. Like I can send that over Messenger or to your email, whatever you prefer. Because I want to make sure that you guys have those guides. But I also want to say that, guys, any step that you've taken this week is a step in the right direction. Okay. So whether that's just catching the last few minutes of a live stream, whether that's opening an email, whether that is sitting down with your daily commitment guide and completing that activity, even just one little baby step is an action that you probably wouldn't have taken otherwise. So that's a big fucking deal. And the fact that you were standing up and raising your hand like, hey, yeah, I need help with this. Hey, yeah, like, let me see what your method is. That is a big fucking deal, guys. Like, you're putting your like line in the sand, like, hey, like I'm ready to take action and, you know, stop blaming my body and actually do what is actually in my control. So anything that you guys have done this week with the challenge, I'm so proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself too. So without further ado, ladies, we're going to go ahead and hop into today's live. I'm not going to do a full like measuring demo just because of that video that is in today's email, is inside of the quick start guide. But what I want to start off with is just some simple protein sources because there's someone else that is in our challenge. She messaged me yesterday and she was just talking about protein, how much she struggles with it. So let's go over just some simple, easy, cheesy ways that you guys can get protein in, okay? The easiest way, guys, is to eat animal products, okay? If you're vegetarian, yeah, you're probably going to struggle a little bit, all right? There is ways to get protein. You know, you have things like, if you eat dairy, dairy's actually a really good way to get protein. So you have things like not egg whites, like cheese, like different kinds of cheeses. Dairy can actually be pretty decent in protein. You also have things like soy, tofu, those types of options. But I'm going to tell you right now, those are plant-based. They do not have all essential amino acids. So yeah, if you're vegetarian, reach out. maybe I can help you out a little bit. But honestly, the easiest way to get protein is just eat more animal products, okay? So egg whites, I love egg whites. Egg whites, they're not too bad. I think I get this at Aldi for like $4. It might be a little bit more, but this lasts me like a whole week. Okay, I usually do like about a half cup of egg white. I think that's around 19, 20 grams of protein for a half cup. But I love egg whites. I put them in everything from oatmeal, which I need to find. I have a video where I actually demoed how to make egg white oats. It sounds really gross, but you just like cook it into the eggs or the oatmeal, and it's actually really fucking good. But egg whites are great. I do egg white breakfast sandwiches. I did that yesterday. Egg white omelets, because here's the deal, guys, without the yolk, it's all protein. Okay. And egg whites, like they're not like super rich, like a whole egg. I don't know. It doesn't really have like a super strong taste. I personally love egg whites, but egg whites are a really good option, especially if you're trying to lose weight, because they have way less calories than like a whole egg does. Even though whole eggs are great too, because they do have lots of nutrients from the yolk. All right, just some more protein options. We have just some sliced turkey. I love this. This can be a little bit pricey. The kind I get at Aldi is a little bit cheaper, but I think this is about four servings or so. Let's see, 4.5. Yeah, probably around four and a half servings. I believe this was around $4, so about $1 per serving. But turkey is super low calorie, high protein. I love adding this to like egg white omelets. I put it in sandwiches. What else do we have? We also have rotisserie chicken. This is a little bit higher priced. I think this is around $8, $9. And I can get it depends on what I'm using this for, but if I'm doing like a 4-ounce serving, that's around, I think, 4 servings per container. So this chicken is actually really fucking good. So it's rotisserie chicken, already taken off the bone. I get the Simply Seasoned kind. This is just the Walmart brand, but this is great for salads. This is great for sandwiches, super high protein. So it's one of those things you can either meal prep and save a little bit of money, or you can buy something like this so you don't have to prepare it. Chicken breasts. We're going to weigh this later. So if you guys watched the MyFitnessPal video, the little teaser, make sure I don't forget to show you that. But chicken breasts, I cook a couple of these every week. I do things like make burritos, chicken and rice bowls with lots of fun toppings. I make sandwiches, wraps, all sorts of stuff. Chicken tacos. You guys can have fun with seasoning, all that good stuff. But chicken breast is one of those things. It's kind of boring, but guys, like, just add it to what you're eating. And some of you guys are eating like animal protein at most of your meals, but like if you're only eating 2 ounces of chicken, like bump that shit up, guys. Like, you could probably get enough protein by just increasing the amount of protein that you're already eating. Like, that's really the easiest way to do it. Okay, a couple more protein options just to go over. So we have a couple more like easy ones. So I really like just like pouch salmon. I make the salmon salad that has some avocado, green onion, a squeeze of lemon, salt, pepper, and then I usually have, let me show you my crackers. I really like these Better Goods crackers. They're like these sourdough and olive oil flatbread crackers, really fucking good. So I make this salmon salad, and here's the thing, guys, like this is like $1.50 a pouch. So, you know, like $1.50 per serving. That's not terrible. But here's the thing, 70 calories, 15 grams of protein. That's what you want. You want to try to find things, because here's the deal. I don't have anything against protein bars, but here's why I don't think protein bars are like great for protein. I think they're kind of like a healthy-ish like candy bar. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think of it as like protein. I wish I had some. I usually have some protein bars on hand, but guys, like most of the time, these protein bars are like really high in carbs and then like 15 grams of protein, which, yeah, that does help. But, you know, like there's cheaper protein sources that you can get that are just as convenient that don't have all the carbs in it. So, not to say that like don't eat those, but I'm just saying I wouldn't try to get all my protein sources from things like that, because that can get really pricey. Like some of those are like $2, $3, $4 a piece, right? And like I said, they're not like a great protein. They're not like a great like protein source. Like it has some protein, but it's more like a candy bar that's slightly macro friendly than a candy bar. I like went blank there for a second. I had brain fog, sorry. All right, guys, and then finally, Greek yogurt. Love Greek yogurt. I'm just kind of burned out on cottage cheese. Like, please don't make me eat another fucking thing of cottage cheese. But Greek yogurt's pretty right on. I usually just like eat this with like some fruit. So like some strawberries, or I'll keep like some dark sweet cherries in my freezer. But really good because this is like 20 grams of protein, right? And there's not like a lot of calories in it, 130. So, I mean, that's pretty right on. So, hey guys, on that note, if you guys want my protein hacks guide, I actually have a whole guide that I put together, including some recipes with the macros. Go ahead and comment protein and I'll send you my protein hacks guide, okay? And I'll try to remember to put the link in the comments when I'm done here. But inside this guide, it has some just really simple protein rich sources, and then it includes like some recipes of each one. So it's a really good guide. Like it's probably my most popular guide that I have. So I think that's about it as far as protein sources. So go ahead and drop any comments that you have, whether you're live or watching the replay. And we're gonna go ahead and just get started with just weighing a couple things, because here's the thing, you can also get started. Like a lot of people think that they have to like, oh, I have to like learn how to do everything. So I'm just going to wait to take action until like I have a good idea of like how this whole macro thing works. No, you can just start by weighing your portions. You know what I mean? Like you can just weigh, you don't have to like track anything yet. Even just something like this can be really, really powerful. So let's go ahead and start off with some snacks. And really the reason why I'm doing this, I want to just kind of put this in perspective, okay? Now, I know this isn't like the healthiest thing in the world. I just have some mountain trail mix. This is something that my husband and my stepkids like to eat. And sometimes I do, like when we go on a hike, so I'll eat some of this. Portioned out, of course, right? So we're just going to try weighing this so you guys can see what an actual serving of is. You know what I used to do back in the day? I used to munch out on this shit, like just out of the bag, and I would wake up the next day like, oh God, I ate way too much. Don't let that happen to you guys. Never eat out of the bag. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn on the scale and we are going to select grams. So over here, like on the, there's a button that says unit. You might have to push that until you can get to grams. And then you're gonna put whatever you're gonna weigh your food in on the scale. You're gonna push tar. All this does is take out the weight of the bowl, okay? So we're gonna weigh out 30 grams, okay? This is going to be a serving of trail mix. That's 30 grams. I mean, that is teeny tiny. So this is what I'm talking about, guys, like why calories matter, and they actually matter a lot. 130 calories for this. So I would guarantee that probably most people would be estimating at least twice as much of this. Do you see how that could be a problem? So yeah, that kind of puts things in perspective. Let's do the same thing with peanut butter, okay? Grab a spoon. Okay, peanut butter is another thing. You guys in your almond butter toast, just pretend this is almond butter. You guys in your almond butter toast, right? So let's see. Serving size, 2 tablespoons. I didn't mention this. Do grams if possible. Okay, don't do tablespoons because most of y'all are gonna be like, you know what I mean, like rounded. What was it again? 32, okay. Okay. Be honest, are you putting that much on your toast in the morning? Or is it like double that, right? 190 calories. I'm going to resist the urge to lick this spoon. I might give this to my dog. All right, I'll do that. All right, I'm gonna have to wash my hands because watch out for those bites, licks, and tastes, right? All right, I'll be right back. All right. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about cooked chicken. Let's do that next. All right, so I kind of teased this. I think I teased this in the MyFitnessPal video. Okay. What I was saying in the MyFitnessPal video is that here's the problem with a lot of meat. So the information that's on the back of the package is going to be in raw weight, okay? Well, here's the problem. When you're batch cooking like a whole bunch of chicken breasts, like that's hard to decipher because I don't ever eat a whole chicken breast because they're so big. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use the scale. We're gonna go to pounds and ounces. And why this matters is because this is not gonna weigh the same raw as cooked. Why? Because when you cook meat, it loses moisture, right? Like the water comes out of it. So it loses generally around like 25%. So what we're gonna do a formula. That's right, I already portioned this out. So this is 4.5 ounces, but I would not track it as 4.5. I would actually track it as 6 ounces. Here's why. The water content, okay? So the formula it's in the guide, okay? It's the weight, so 4.5 divided by 0.75, okay? So you put the cooked weight, divide by 0.75, and that's gonna give you the raw weight. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to log this as 6 ounces raw, okay? Let me know if you have any questions about that, because I know that's kind of confusing, but I actually didn't know that for a long time, and I remember when I figured that out, I was like, oh my God. So yeah, a lot of times, yeah, you're like eating more calories than you think, but more protein, so that would actually be good. But that's how you do that. Let's go over a couple other things, how to weigh those, just like those little things. Okay, here's what's really funny. This happens to like everyone I start working with. I'll look at their food journal and it'll be like a potato. And I'm like, I asked my client, how big was a potato? And they're like, I don't know. Okay, here's the problem with that. Okay. Now, sure, maybe it seems a little obsessive to like worry about a potato, but the reality is these are actually really starchy, so they're going to be a little more calorie dense than like broccoli or spinach, those types of things. Like if you're just kind of like estimating on things like that, like honestly, that's probably fine. But I would 100%, because it's really not hard, go ahead and just fucking weigh this, right? Especially if you're just eating a potato, like that's actually really easy. We're going to go back to grams. Tar. I do this before I wash it because I wonder if like the water might add. So I'm just gonna put the unwashed potatoes straight on the scale, 134. So when I go into MyFitnessPal, I can just log, I can go, you can actually change, okay? I talk about this inside of that video that came out in today's email. You can actually change the unit, okay? And then you can put in like a gram, and then you can put in 134 grams, okay? Really important. Same thing with apples. Again, it might seem a little obsessive. If you're just trying to maintain your weight and you're maintaining your weight, I think it's fine. But I'm just saying, if you have fat loss goals, this is when it becomes important, okay? So a couple ways that you can weigh an apple. I know that's really stupid, but again, like this just has more starch in it, so meaning it's just gonna have more calories. So this is going to, it can impact, right? So a couple ways you can do that. But on the scale, 124, write that down, eat the apple, weigh the core, subtract 124 minus the core, okay? Or you can just core the apple and then put the slices in there and weigh it that way, okay? So however you eat it, it's just gonna determine how you weigh it, all right? Let me know if you have any questions about that. A couple more things. The things that matter. The little things that sometimes we forget about. Half and half, okay? Okay, this is how I do it. And honestly, I don't always track my half and half, okay? To be fair. If I'm trying to lose weight, fuck yeah, I am, okay? Because this is one of those things, this can really be sneaky, okay? We're gonna change to milliliters. Tar. You can have coffee in here, okay? Just tar it out. We're gonna pour 30, is it 30? Yeah, 30 milliliters, okay? That's it. Easy cheesy. It does not take that long, right? Salad dressing, do not guess this shit. Don't, okay? This one's actually not terrible, 70 calories. I didn't have any ranch. I was gonna show you guys with ranch. So not terrible, but still, guys, just weigh the fucking thing. Here's how you do it. Need another bowl. Here's your salad bowl. Okay, you make your salad. We're gonna go back to grams. Tar, 33 grams, okay? Or if you are taking a salad to go, I like these little containers. So if you have a salad to go, put your container on there, 30 grams, easy cheesy. That's it. Okay, it does not have to be complicated. I know this is tedious. Again, I don't really count this in the off season when I'm just trying to maintain, as long as like I'm maintaining my weight for the most part. But guys, this is not calorie free. Okay, it's not. Okay, now this is where it gets confusing. You guys see that? It says calorie 0. But here's the reality. Serving size, a 1/4 second of a spray. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I can't even, okay, just don't. Anyway, I just like estimate, I think when I was in my cut last fall, I think I was like, okay, it's like a 4-second spray. Like I did like 1 Mississippi while I was like spraying at one time. And I think it was like 10 calories or something like that. So I know it's tedious, but this is really like, if you're in a cut, like this stuff will add up. Okay, so don't forget about cooking spray. We talked about dressing. Finally, olive oil, okay? Do not forget about this. This is another healthy food that you guys want to tote. I don't need to measure this because it's healthy. Okay, you want to know how fucking healthy it is? 120 calories per tablespoon. Okay, so if you guys are doing this shit, Here's one thing though. I'm always going to tell you to weigh in grams and not use fucking measuring cups and spoons. Well, there's a couple things that I do. So one, I use this. Okay, here's why. Because generally I heat up my pan first and then I add oil. You could do it this way, put your skillet on here, right? Weigh it out, that's fine. I just use a teaspoon, a tablespoon, and I just make sure I don't fill it. But guys, if you're not weighing this, you're fucking yourself up. I promise you, okay? You do not want to consume a lot of calories in fucking oil, right? Like this is just like something to cook with. So definitely, I always weigh this, okay? Always. Always, always. All right, guys, let me know if you have any question. Here is the action step for today, okay? Before we talk about the next thing, before I forget. But the action step for today, I want you to pick one goal with your macros. It can be anything. Like I was saying earlier, you guys don't have to like track everything perfectly, like right off the bat, right? You don't have to have like all the skills, like the weighing and then knowing how to track and knowing how to set your goals, right? Like you don't need to do all that. The main thing is just getting started, because some of y'all are so fucking all or nothing. You're not doing shit. Okay. And it's fucking you up for real. So what we need to do is just think about building skills, just getting started. You don't have to do everything at once, right? So I want you to pick one goal when it comes to macros. Let us know what it is in the comments. But here's just a few ideas. You could track in MyFitnessPal. You have that video inside today's challenge email. You can track imperfectly for a few days just to, try to get into the habit of doing it. You can buy yourself a scale. Again, I'll try to remember to pop this into the comments and just start weighing your portions. It can really be eye-opening, okay? It could also be that you just download MyFitnessPal, right? And start kind of playing around on that. Start building some meals in there. And guys, like if you need the help, like I was saying, next week I'm going to be opening the doors to Lean Physique. And I'm only going to have a few spots open because this is one-on-one. And this is really just for people that they're tired of fucking around. Like, this isn't just about like reaching goals. This is about like, we need to find a solution to feeling like shit in perimenopause. Okay. So if you're like ready to just stop like hunting around for the next like cool thing to try that is not going to fucking work, by the way, and you're ready to find a lifestyle that's actually sustainable and quite frankly can be really enjoyable. If you guys need that extra help and support, I'm going to have a couple of spots open for you, okay, next week. But I'm only going to be taking on people that are really ready to commit to this process and tired of fucking blaming their body. Because it's not your body, it's just that you're missing skills and you're not following the right plan for this stage of life. So if you feel like you need extra help, and it's okay if you do, that's what I have a business coach. Like, I don't expect to like know how to do everything, right? And nobody's expecting you to. So trying to do things on your own is part of the problem because, you know, it's not just about education because you can find all this info on the internet. Like, you don't need to do this challenge to learn about macros, but also like this is about implementation because if you're not implementing, you're not going to get a good result, right? So it's not just about absorbing content. It's not about, you know, searching for recipes and watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos. This is about implementation and doing it in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming to where you're just going to fucking quit at the end of the week, right? So keep that in mind. And I'm only going to have limited spots. And again, I'm only going to be taking on the people that are actually ready to find a solution and serious about changing. Okay. Like, you're going to have to hop on the phone with me in order to screen for that. Okay. So keep that in mind. The doors are going to open on Monday, on Memorial Day, and I'm only going to have the doors open for 5 days. Okay. But that is your challenge for today. Now, as far as what should my calories be, because I know this is going to come up, here's what I always suggest doing. Okay. This is the best way to do it. But again, you can have help. You can have me helping you in personalizing your macros inside of Lean Physique. But this is what I suggest. Do not go off of MyFitnessPal. Do me a favor, do not do that. What you want to do is learn how to track accurately. So watch the video that came inside of that quick start portion control guide in today's email. I'm about to send that out again. So if you guys sign up for the challenge within the next 30 minutes, you'll get that email with the replay. And I'm also going to include both the video for tracking on MyFitnessPal, and then also you'll get the quick start portion guide. Inside that portion guide is a video that walks you through how to weigh everything. Okay. So what I would do is I would track for 7 to 14 days, ideally 14, including weekends. Track everything, including things like salad dressing, your coffee creamer, all of those things, and try to figure out where you are averaging, okay? That is going to be your current maintenance to maintain your current weight, okay? So that's what I suggest doing from there. And then after that, then depending on what your goal is, so that's why day 3 is really important. If you guys didn't see our physique assessment episode, day 3 of the challenge, I highly recommend that you guys go back and watch that. Okay. That's really, really important because some of y'all are like chasing body recomposition. It's like, dude, I mean, you can if you want, but it's going to be really, really slow. Like we were talking about yesterday, picking one goal is really probably the best for most people. So that's really, really important. But once you figure out your baseline, then you can kind of go from there. If you just want to maintain for a while, just stay right there. You know, whatever you're averaging with your tracking. If you want a calorie deficit, I would start off with just a 15% calorie deficit. So take your maintenance, subtract 15%. That's going to be your start of your cut. Okay. If you want to do a small bulk or build, we talked about that yesterday. This is great for women that are already lean, who want more size, but they want it quick. A small calorie surplus, I suggest just like a 10% surplus over your maintenance. So I know that's really broad, but that's kind of the gist of what we do inside of Lean Physique. That is going to be way better than just using like a TDEE calculator, which is okay. That might give you a ballpark, but unless you're tracking and getting that data up front, you're not really going to know what your true maintenance is until you actually do that part. So I don't recommend like a TDEE calculator. I actually recommend you tracking and figuring out your own maintenance. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. We have one more day of the challenge. So thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it, guys. It's been great. Like I've had some really good conversations with a lot of you here in the group. It's been awesome. And I love hosting events like this. I really, really do. And we'll do it again, probably in the summer, like maybe around like back to school time. But, what I was going to say is that tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow's an important day because a lot of times when people hit a plateau, they start to think that there's something wrong with them. They start to believe that they're fucking broken and that they're never going to figure this shit out. And that's just not fucking true. So if you've ever been in a frustrating plateau, you want to see tomorrow because we have a, I actually don't even know what it's called right now. Progress assessment? I don't know. Anyway, I have a guide for you that's coming out tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about what exactly to do if the scale just stops, okay? Or if it just stalls or weight loss becomes slow. Because more than likely, nope, 100%, you're not broken. It's just that you just need to know how to tweak your plan. And that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And this is exactly what we do inside Lean Physique is we don't just like throw our hands up in the air like, oh, well, you're fucked. It must be perimenopause. No, we're not going to do that. No, we are actually going to look at your data. And then according to that, we are going to figure out a way to pivot. So that way you continue to see results and you continue to improve your physique over time. So tomorrow is really, really important, especially if you're in a plateau or if you've ever experienced a plateau. You need to know this on your journey because it will happen. I promise you it will happen. Okay. I get stalled out too sometimes, but the difference is that I don't throw my hands up and quit. I have a plan for when that plateau happens and I pivot. Okay. So know that it's not you. It's not your metabolism. It's not anything like that. You just need to know what to do when the scale stops or stalls. Okay. So that is going to be day 5. I'm going to be here live in the group at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is it for today. Sorry, today was a little bit long. I knew it was going to be just because of all the demoing, but I really hope that I provide some good value for you today. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow for day 5. All right. See you then.